So we're here today with Kai, Skye and James from our AT team to have a conversation around work experience and apprenticeships and how that can positively impact young people's mental health. Kai, you have done your work experience already with us and are currently doing your apprenticeship. Skye, you've done your part 1 and your part 2, and James, you're currently doing your part 1. So we thought you were the best people to ask these questions to shed some light on it. So I'm just going to start off with how do you think apprenticeships or work experience can help improve young people's mental health? And it's to all of you, so.
Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Yeah.
I think it's really good for a work experience because it gives you like an insight on what you could be doing. It's just good to have an actual basic understanding of what you could be doing when you go into this role. And it's good also just for your future, knowing that this is what you want to do. You can try it, if you like it, if you don't like it, you can then make your decisions from that.
It can be quite daunting, can't it, when you've been sort of, at school and you think, I'd like to sort of go into this job or, and then you actually go and experience it and it can be quite different, can't it? So, yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, I agree. I never went here for my work experience, but I went somewhere in Edinburgh and that really helped for me because in school, I know they're a lot better with it now, but I had no idea really what architecture was. And then I went for, I think I'd done 2 separate weeks and it just solidified that that's what I wanted to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know about you, but...
Yeah, because I think especially when you're in school or when you eventually go to uni to the architecture, or in my experience at least, it's quite different to maybe what you actually do day to day. So yeah, I think it's important that you go and you see what sort of being an architect or what an architecture office actually does day to day to help you actually grasp, right, is this what I want to do for the next 30 or 40, 50 years of my, life,
Because the course itself is really daunting, the thought of going for 6 years.
It seems a really long period of time.
When you say someone at school, it's the next 6 years of your life, you're like, oh, crap. Yeah. But it goes, having done it now, it goes really quickly. Mm-hmm. And you do end up making some really close friends, which is good as well. Obviously, it is quite stressful, but having the year break for me, really solidified, I can actually do the job, which did make it quite hard going back to uni, but it's you kind of juggle it up. But yeah, it has been good working.
Do you think it's helped your confidence, sort of being given the opportunity to come and sort of do work experience or be in industry? Do you think that, had you not done that, you would have found going into an architecture practice, when you were fully qualified or, a lot harder? Do you think the confidence side of things has been improved?
Yeah, I think it can be really daunting. I remember when I first started, I was you do everything at uni and you know how to draw plans and everything, but you're like, oh my gosh, now this is actually getting built.
Real.
And I remember some of the stuff I'd done in part 1 and it's now built and I'm like, oh, I'd done the drawings for that. So it's quite nice to see that what you've worked on is being reflected in the real world. And it does help your confidence as well, especially speaking with contractors and things. And it makes you, I definitely told myself, I was like, I'm not going to be scared to ask questions. Mm-hmm. And usually, this office is really good. If someone asks a question, there's usually someone knows the answer, but someone else might not know the answer. And then it sort of starts a discussion. So it is really good in that sense.
I think it's really satisfying as well, putting what you've learned into practice and using it in the real world. It's really satisfying when you do that. So
it's quite a change, isn't it, when you go from school to actually being, as you say, in industry and seeing things really come to life. Mm-hmm. And there's a sense of achievement in that, I think, isn't there? Which, you can, as you say, you read about it, you do your drawings, but when it's actually there and happening, I think that's such a boost for you all. How do you think that learning real world skills impacts your motivation and your mental outlook? So have you ever felt more motivated or focused after gaining practical experience? I think you have just kind of touched on that, but is there anything specific that you would add to that?
Well, yeah, because I think sometimes, especially at school, or definitely uni, where you're doing projects and they can be quite big and they're very stressful and you put a lot of time into it. And as much as the end of the year, you might have a couple of big boards up and maybe have made a load of models. It never gets built. Nothing ever really happens with it. While in practice, it kind of helps you get up in the morning to think that this is real. What I'm doing actually matters at some point. You know, the work I do today will at some point hopefully be built and people will use it. And that's a lot more motivating, or it's a lot more motivating for me anyway.
Yeah,
I think,
definitely.
yeah.
I agree. I think because at work as well, you're not just focusing on the one project as well. Like you're maybe fully on one and then you sort of dip into a few other projects. It's quite good. Every day's slightly different. Yeah, quite a lot of them are spent in front of the computer. But you're out and about going site visits, or like you're in the office or you're working from home. So it is quite a good hybrid model. Like it does keep it different, and it is quite good that you can work from home if you need to, or you can come into the office. And the office culture here is quite nice as well. Like you're not shunned at your desks. Like everyone's up for a laugh, which is really good as well. Like I actually get excited to come into work. And sometimes when I'm driving home, I'm like, oh, I'm not at work anymore. Like, so it is good fun. And it's good that our office is like that, because I know this culture is sometimes seen as being overworked, like quite crazy hours. But thankfully, I think that is slowly starting to change, which is really good.
I think it's also really good when you're working like on a project and you've been on it for so long, and then when it goes out to site and then you're going out to the site visit and you start to see it kind of coming together. Yeah. It's really satisfying just seeing everything come into place and all the pieces clicking in place.
Mm-hmm. And Skye, you touched on it there about the connections that you make at work and the people that you work with. So do you think that the social connections at work or during placement help young people feel more supported, with your learning and then being able to sort of go on and find, future careers and things? Have you found that to be sort of true within Aitken Turnbull?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like with doing uni stuff, it is like, as we said, it is quite different, but because we've got so much knowledge here and like the libraries and everything, it's good to see the materials and the technical stuff in real life, because at uni it can be quite disconnected. Like you're drawing lines and you're not really sure what it's relating to. Whereas here, if I ask, say, Al, for example, he's more than happy to be like, this is what that is. And you can actually start and connect it and visualize it, which is really good. I quite like picking everyone's brains for stuff. I just like knowing how things go together, which I guess is why I'm doing this job. But
it's interesting as well that both yourself, Skye, and Kai, you've done your first and your part one and your part two, and you've done your work experience and you're now doing your apprenticeship with a company. So I think that in itself sort of implies that, the social side of things and the people that you're working with have obviously been supportive enough that you felt that you wanted to come back and that you've chosen to go down that path as well. So that's really interesting. I don't know, James, if you've been anywhere else,
Yeah, I mean, I've done work experience some places where, I mean, they were good, but I think the office culture was quite, how would you put it? Everyone's quite sort of siloed away into their own things. And I feel like here, we had a resources meeting this morning and everybody kind of knows what everybody else is doing to a certain extent. I think that's quite nice because you can ask people about it and people take an interest in each other's work. I've been other places where people just don't really have a clue what anybody else is doing, and I think you could feel you're working as like an individual in just a room with other people. While I think I sort of agree with what you were saying earlier, if I actually like enjoy coming into Gala to actually work, because working actually with other people, even if you're not necessarily doing exactly the same thing they're doing, just being in the same room as other people, talking about stuff, comparing notes and stuff, having conversations about things is so much more like, I find it a wee bit more like sort of intellectually like stimulating than just like sitting by yourself all day or just like sitting in Zoom or something. But yeah, no, it's that sort of like office friendships or office sort of community. That's, I think, definitely really important.
It's interesting as well, isn't it? Because obviously, you've studied through COVID as well, so you've all spent time at home, and it's nice to hear people saying that actually coming back in the office and being with people and socialising, is having a positive impact. And that's what we want for people when it comes to mental health, is that ability to be able to touch base and connect with people that when you're working from home, you don't always have. It's not, I don't think it's quite the same over Teams or whatever. So it's good to hear that because you've been on both sides, that probably starting your careers through a really difficult period where you were shut away a lot of the time. So it's interesting to hear you say that as well. So do you think that having a routine through work experience or apprenticeships have helps with mental health? Sorry.
Definitely. I think having a routine is really important. I think I'd be lost without a routine.
Yeah.
No,
well,
it's
I've
really
only
good.
just got back into my routine. I've been here 2 months now, and this is the first time I've had like a proper routine in 2 years. I actually go to bed at like 10 now, and I was up at 6 this morning. Like,
Wow.
I've never done that before. But like maybe 3 months ago, I was getting like 3 hours sleep each night. So yeah, it's definitely nice to get into routine. And then it's also nice knowing that at 5 o'clock you can just shut the laptop, and then like the evening's left for yourself as well. And you can go for walks, or we do a few things at work like after, or like there's a few hobbies as well. So it is good knowing that 5 o'clock you can shut the laptop, you're not expected to work on anymore any longer, and you've got that downtime before going back to work the next day.
It's a really good work-life balance as well. Just being able to have downtime and just have that time for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's a lot of chat in the office. Like, I think quite a lot of us run there. Some people like swim and cycle and stuff, and there's like a lot of chat in the office about what people do outside of work, which is really good, because I think, again, there's many places you go where people just go to work and they talk about work and they don't actually know anything about each other. While we have a lot more like chat about like what people are up to in general.
I think there's some friendly competition on Strava for how many miles people can do.
People coming in the next morning being like, "Oh, it was a slow run, wasn't it?"
I think I've done one big run and I've not done another one since.
I suppose it helps as well, doesn't it? Because we're partnered with SAMH as our charity partner. So we obviously try to do things in the office, to get people out and to get sort of fresh air and try and positively impact our mental health. So it's nice as well that that's carried on throughout. As you say, like even when we're not doing an event, you all still seem to be quite engaged and active and things. So it's really nice that, there is that little bit of friendly competition every now and again.
Keeps it fun.
Yeah.
So do you think that apprenticeships or work placements can reduce anxiety about the future? Obviously, you're still all quite early on in your careers, or just starting. So,
Well, I think early on there's a level of like uncertainty with what you're going to do. So to come and do like a week's work experience, or just to come and do your placement, it gives you that self-confidence that this is what you want to do or not want to do. I think it's just really good to get that insight before you dive fully in.
It gives you those like first connections as well. Like it can be quite daunting going into it, and certainly no one in my family was in the construction industry. So it is daunting choosing this career, and it's like you're gonna maybe stay in it for the rest of your life, and the next 6 years is gonna be at uni. So it can be daunting when you're like 16, 17, trying to decide what you're going to do.
It's a big decision as well.
Yeah.
Like 6 years is a long time. You want to make sure that it is what you want to do.
I definitely know for me too that, any architects I'd met, I did think, wow, these guys know a lot about like what they're talking about. And so coming and actually working and doing experience of that, you realise you start to gain knowledge. And when you start to gain knowledge about stuff, you have a bit more confidence. And that makes you think, well, even in the future, if I go on and do something else, I have the confidence about like, I know what I'm doing, I'm a professional, I know more than just like the average person walking around the street, if you know what I mean. Because I think definitely at the start you feel like you don't really know anything and you're like a bit useless. But after you actually gain knowledge and do experience and feel like you're useful, then it's like you're plain sailing after that, really. Yeah.
So how do you think seeing real career progress, such as skills, promotion and qualifications, affects young people's self-esteem?
Well, for me, since I'm doing university part-time alongside working here, it's really motivating when I get my qualification and I pass like a module, because I can apply that here, but I can also apply what I've learned at work to uni. Because I did a gap year basically, where I was working here and then I went to uni, and that year I gained so much more knowledge than everybody else that was starting the course. I had a massive head start on everybody, which was really motivating for myself and like my self-esteem. And I'm just going into third year just now, and I'm feeling pretty good about it, just with my basic knowledge that I've got from here.
Yeah, I can remember when I was doing my part 1 and I was working on this job. It was just an office fit out in London. And I was so nervous. I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm just this little part 1. I think I was about to go on a meeting or something. And I was so nervous. It was just a Teams call. But this is like, oh, right, okay, now it's like real world. It was like a quick project. And they were so nice. And I think because they were so like friendly and forthcoming, like that really did boost my confidence. And they were like saying, good job, like the emails were bouncing back and forth. So I think having good correspondence like that really helps your confidence as well. Rather than, because I know there's like some stigma about working and that it can be really stressful. So when you have an experience like that, it can really boost your confidence and it makes you feel like you actually know what you're doing, which is good.
Definitely like meeting clients and stuff or meeting contractors or things was definitely a big thing for me, because there's that first time you have that first meeting and you sit there and you're like, nobody speak to me. I don't know a single thing that anybody's talking about. It's all acronyms, it's all like stuff I've never heard of. Nobody speak to me.
Yeah.
But then after you do that a couple of times, again, it's the knowledge thing, it's the confidence thing. And once you've built up enough knowledge, you then go in and you feel, oh, I know what people are talking about. I feel like I can contribute. And then,
You're only going to progress when you hit those milestones as well. You're only going to get better after you get like that first.
Yeah, you're not going to lose it again afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to forget as well. Like everyone's still learning. Like you're never going to know everything. And I think some people can be quite nervous or scared to ask questions in case they look dumb. But in reality, you're not going to continue learning if you don't ask the questions. And I think I managed to break through that quite quickly. I was like, right, I'm just going to ask any questions that I can, whether it's stupid or not. But I think that really does help you learn, and like that can push your confidence a lot as well.
And there's definitely stuff like, even recently there's things I've done with Ben where he's been working for years and years, and we've done something and I've thought, oh, I don't know what anybody's talking about. I don't know what this is. And I've asked him and he went, yeah, no, I don't know either. You go, oh, good, right. Because when you can get into your own head sometimes, but you're right. If you just ask questions and you just have the confidence to say, actually, I don't fully, don't go into it thinking you need to know everything.
Yeah.
If you go in and say, actually, I don't know everything, I'm here to learn, then you'll come out with like a lot more out of it than you would have before.
Yeah, definitely.
Fab. And last one, so you can breathe a sigh of relief. How do you think that handling responsibilities during work experience helps with resilience and coping skills? Again, you've covered quite a lot of that already, but is there anything else you would add?
What do you mean by like resilience? Was like...
So if we do it this way, have you personally felt stronger or more capable after overcoming a challenge at work? So has there been a challenge? You've sort of said there about going into meetings or whatnot. Has there been anything else that you sort of come across that?
I guess because we've sort of said like about it being a chill environment, obviously the work that we do can be quite stressful at times. And And I mean, I feel like you get that in any job. So there has been days where you maybe don't shut the laptop at 5 and you do have to keep working, but because there is a deadline. So I feel like I work quite well under pressure. And it is quite nice to have a bit of pressure sometimes, because then you do feel relief after, and it is like a sense of achievement when you've got it sent off and it sort of has went smoothly after. But yeah, it's definitely worth noting that we do still have quite a bit of pressure sometimes to get certain things in.
It's definitely like an industry where that is just kind of part and parcel of it, really. It's the same, if someone wants to go and become a doctor or something, you have to recognize that you're going into something where there's going to be deadlines, there's going to be some level of like stress at times. It's not always going to be really simple, but just be able to deal with that. And then once you've dealt with that once, the next time it comes along, you go, well, I did it last time, so I can do it again.
Yeah. I think it's quite good to reflect on things, and something that we have to do for our part 1 and part 2 experience is we have to fill out these sheets.
Oh, yeah.
We have to sit down with Ben and basically like go over all the experience we've done. But I got compliments from my part 1 stuff being here. Like the amount of experience I got across all of the work stages, it was quite commended, which was really good. I can't remember what my point was now.
I don't know. It's in your head, like, yeah.
But
I think
like,
sorry.
No, I forgot what I was saying.
That's right. But I think as well, it's amazing how when you come across these types of situations at work, how you can then, as you say, you build that resilience, and then it feeds into other areas of your life, doesn't it? It's not just life. And then I think we've already touched on it, the fact that there's the social side of things, and then the like sort of active side as well, and all of those help you overcome some of these stressful times when you know to sort of, okay, I do need to step away. Let's go out for a walk at lunchtime. Let's, do the cycle or whatever it is that might be coming up. And yeah, it's just...
I remembered what I was going to say.
Because
we're like, because we're sort of forced to reflect on everything.
Yeah.
It is quite good, because if something maybe goes wrong in a job, we can say, oh, looking back, I'd maybe do it this way. And there has been certain times where you do feel overloaded and something maybe goes slightly wrong, and you are forced to look back on it, which is really good. And then so next time you'll do it differently, and I think it's just handling the pressure as well. And
pressure's good though.
Yeah,
a little bit of pressure's good.
Yeah,
Not too much pressure.
I
Like
like
a tiny bit of
pressure, so it's...
Yeah.
Diamonds are created under pressure.
I was going to say that.
Well, we turned into diamonds.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sitting and having a chat with us today about it, because I think it's really important. There's a young generation coming up, and it can be quite daunting, so it's nice to hear how you have found it, how you manage these situations, and yeah, thank you very much.
No problem
right.
at all.
Thank you.
Hopefully it's okay.